Welcome to Performing Well in your Doctoral Oral Examination. Every doctoral candidate at AUT must sit an oral exam as part of the final assessment. This is common in doctoral programs around the world and is sometimes called a viva or a defence. During the oral exam, you as the doctoral candidate give a short presentation and answer questions from your examiners. These are the same examiners who have already read and assessed your thesis or exegesis. The purpose of the oral exam is to assess your understanding of your research, evaluate your independence and sophistication as a scholar, test the rigour of the research, and to ensure that you are genuinely the author of the thesis or exegesis. The purpose of the oral exam is not to test your memory of what you wrote. In fact, you can have your full printed thesis or exegesis with you and refer to it throughout your exam. The exam is also not intended to make you sweat. It's an opportunity for collegial discussion and for you to demonstrate that you have fulfilled the criteria for your degree. The entire oral exam could be as short as 40 minutes or as long as 3 hours. It involves a number of formalities, but in this video we'll focus on what you can do to present yourself well during your short presentation and as you answer examiners' questions. Now let's look at how to present yourself and your research in the best light. Firstly, preparation is key. Practice, 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 both your opening presentation and your answers to likely questions. It's best not to read from a script at any point, as examiners are looking for your ability to speak naturally and extemporaneously about your research. You can have cue cards or notes during your opening presentation, but if possible, prepare to present without them. Having a mock oral within your school or department is a great way to practice answering questions from expert colleagues. Your voice and stance during the oral exam can help to convey a sense of confidence, even if you don't always feel it. Remember that you are presenting to a small group of usually just 3 to 5 people, so a conversational voice and volume is appropriate. The group will usually be seated around a table, as in a meeting, and so most candidates choose to also be seated for the opening presentation. This is not the type of presentation that would involve a stage or a podium. Speak clearly and try not to rush. This is particularly important given that often at least one examiner will appear by video link. Your voice should give them the best chance of hearing and understanding you. If all goes well, this exam marks your entrance into a community of scholars. With that in mind, it's important to connect with your examiners, since they are members of the community that you seek to join. Be respectful, but not obsequious. The examiners are experts, but remember, so are you. Address examiners by their academic titles, for example, Professor X or Dr. Y, unless they invite you to address them by name only. Eye contact can be a great way to build rapport, but remember that your examiners may appear on a screen rather than in person. If that's the case, looking at their eyes on the screen will not appear as eye contact to them. Try to occasionally look into the camera as well, to simulate eye contact from their perspective. Now let's look at how to create a positive first impression in the opening presentation of the exam. Your short presentation gives you a chance to start the examination in a manner of your choosing. It should be about 5 to 6 minutes long, and typically no visual aids are allowed during the presentation. When deciding what to include in your presentation, remember that your examination panel will have already read your thesis or exegesis in detail. There's no need to duplicate its content by, for instance, describing your research methods or your results. Instead, you could try the bookend technique by focusing on what came before and after the thesis or exegesis. Some examples of what came before could include the pre-existing problem your research has addressed, or your motivation, or prior experience before conducting the research. And now that you've written the thesis or exegesis, what comes next? What are the outcomes of your research, or any potential changes in policy or practice in your field? What has happened since you wrote the thesis or exegesis? How will this work inform your future career and any future research in the field? Another potential strategy is to use your short presentation to address examiners' concerns. You should receive your examiner's reports about 1 week before the exam. You can use the reports to identify any concerns your examiners have noted and preemptively address those concerns in your opening presentation. However, this needs to be done sensitively and carefully, and it may not be appropriate in every case. If you would like to use your opening presentation in this way, make sure you prepare your comments with advice from your supervisors. After you give your short opening presentation, the examiners will ask their questions. This question and answer time will make up the bulk of your oral examination. While you will not know the exact exam questions in advance, it is possible to prepare by anticipating the likely exam questions. Before you get the examiner's reports back, you can practice with common exam questions, and we'll go over some in a moment. You can also identify the choices you made in your research, because examiners will often seek to understand why you made those choices. Pay attention also to any potentially surprising content in your thesis or exegesis, like controversial claims or unexpected findings, and any groundbreaking content. After the examiner's reports have come back, you can identify the points they have raised, as these could be the basis of many of your examination questions. There are several general questions that many candidates face in one form or another, and these make a good basis for practice. Examiners may ask, why did you choose your research topic? How did you formulate your research questions? How did you choose your methodology? And on a related note, which alternative methodologies did you consider, and why did you reject them? What is the significance or impact of your findings? How do you think your findings should be applied? What do you think should be the focus of future research in this area? And if you were to repeat this project, what would you do differently? As you answer examiners' questions, be sure to stay calm and professional. Even though examiners are scrutinizing your work, they are not out to attack you, and this should remain a collegial discussion. Remember your position as the author of the research. As examiners ask about your choices, show your own agency. Even though you may wish to mention the contributions of supervisors or colleagues, you are the one whose name is on the thesis cover page. If it helps you, feel free to take notes during questioning, refer to your thesis or exegesis, and ask for clarification if you don't fully understand a question. You may get questions that you find difficult to answer. In that case, it is okay to take a moment to think, ask the examiner to repeat the question, ask them to rephrase the question in different words, or even use the water on the table to give yourself time. A nice long drink can give you just enough of a pause to collect your thoughts. If you really can't answer a question, it's better to be honest than to make something up. Try preparing a phrase that you can use to politely decline a question, such as, "Thank you for your question. It's not one I feel I can answer now, but perhaps this is an area for further investigation." This prepared phrase can be used as a last resort, just in case you simply don't know what else to say. Finally, though the oral examination may seem intimidating, try to go into it in a positive frame of mind. For many people, the oral examination marks the moment they become a member of the academic community, and it is a rare chance to talk about your area of interest with equally passionate experts. For many students, it is a surprisingly enjoyable experience. We hope it is a positive experience for you too. To learn more about the doctoral oral examination, you can view our video on the oral examination process and attend our oral exam forum. This will be a chance to ask questions and hear from the Graduate Research School's expert team. You can book for the forum via eLab.